What's up, guys? Vin and Lou from the Shealess podcast. We are here at Jam Sportscards in Staten Island to host our very first live event.
Guys, we have a lot of fun activities going on tonight, but before we get into the episode, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel down below. Make sure you hit that like button and turn on the notifications so you know every time we post a video. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Shealess podcast. Once again, it is Lou and Vin. We're here with a very special guest, Anthony from Jam Sportscards. We are hosting our very first live event here at Jams. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So this is actually very exciting because growing up, baseball cards and everything was a big part, I think, of all of our lives. Anthony just took it to the next level. I haven't been into the hobby as much. I know Lou is still very involved in it. We're going to rip some product. Ant, as far as baseball, what's your favorite product to rip as of right now?
Good product, probably Diamond Icons.
Okay.
It's a little high end, but definitely a lot of fun.
I know, like when I was doing it, it was a lot, Lou Bowman Draft, and it's pretty crazy now seeing these kids like that we used to hunt all the time, Marcelo Mayer, Hunter Goodman, and now they're all up. So you have anybody that you like to try to collect as a prospect?
As a prospect, I'm not big into prospecting, but
okay.
Right now probably McGonigal.
Okay,
is good
from Detroit.
Yep.
What about you,
Connor
Lou?
Griffin looks good.
As a Mets fan, being a Mets podcast, I have to go with Elian Pena. I mean, he was a big Bowman chase a couple years ago. His cards, his market right now in the card market is on fire. I'd probably go Elian Pena.
And he's ripping it up right now.
Yeah, he's playing great. So, Ann, a question I had for you. So, obviously, we're here in Staten Island, great, awesome hobby store. Tell us a little about the store, history on being in the business.
So this is all passion here, just built from the ground up. Been collecting my whole life. There's nothing like ripping packs open. Anything Bowman is always fun. I do this for everybody, for the kids, the neighborhood, everybody.
How long have you been in business? How long has the store been open?
So we're open since 2021. Still going strong.
Family business?
Yeah.
Little Anthony's always running around.
Yep. Little guy's always here.
One thing I love about this store so much, and guys, when you come check it out, 7309 Amboy Road, when you come check it out, guys, there's everything for everybody. The high-end collectors, the kids, just hobbyists in general. If you want to come, look through the dollar bins. There's everything. There's something for everyone. And that's what's great about this store. If you like memorabilia, if you like signed baseballs, Anthony and Marissa have it here at Jams. So, Ant, one thing I want to talk about, not a lot of stores have the rights to Topps. You are an official Topps vendor. How long have you been a partner with Topps? And what's one of your favorite Topps products? I know you mentioned Diamond Icons, but what release do you get excited about the most?
Always Topps Chrome. Topps Chrome is always fun with the pro debuts, the autos, always a lot of fun. And we've been with Topps for a little over 2 years now. And the new basketball and football releases are always fun. Baseball's been Topps forever. Topps Chrome is definitely one of the staples.
Well, one thing I do love about this store, and me and Lou have been coming in here for a while, is, guys, if you're in Staten Island or you're in Jersey, Brooklyn, stop in, because anybody that walks through that front door is always treated like family. You're not treated like a customer. It's like family walking into the store. And what made you decide to actually build this?
So pretty much, like I said, it's just all passion. I'm a collector at heart since I'm a kid, always ripping packs. And
since you could remember.
Yeah, exactly.
I know Lou mentioned there's something for everybody. The lower end, higher end, Pokemon, baseball, basketball, you name it. Anthony does have something here that is a little bit higher end. I don't know if you want to show that to the camera now. I mean, this is unbelievable. If you're a baseball guy, Lou, you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So one of the questions I wanted to ask Ant on the show was, growing up in the hobby, something that my father always instilled in us was, don't collect for the value, collect what you love. And I believe you're the same way, just knowing you for a couple of years now. When speaking about Mantle, I mean, Mantle is the king of the hobby, in my opinion. Yes. I like the 52 Mantle more than the Honus Wagner, always did. And I know you're kind of piecing together a nice Mantle collection as well. Yes. So just explain a little bit about the card, what the card is, and what's so special to you.
So it's a 52 Bowman. And it's, pretty much one of his rookies. So it's a very sought after card. And it's, like you said, anything Mantle is just awesome.
Very cool.
I mean, that's unbelievable. To be able to hold a Mantle rookie is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's really nice.
So just like Anthony, growing up, me and Vinny are around the same age. Anthony's a little bit older than us. But the 89 Upper Deck Griffey was one of my favorite. It's always been an iconic card in the hobby. It's one of the cards that got my brother and I into the hobby. And that's the card I decided to bring today to show off. I have an 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. auto with the auto grade of 10. So this is something that will remain in my collection forever. It was originally my father's card, got it autographed, and now we have it slammed up. So stuff like that really keeps me in the hobby, just, that collector's side of it more than the flipping and the value side. And listen, the hobby is so wide, it's such a range in collecting that there's something for everybody. So really cool. We're gonna get into some packs. We're gonna open up a little Topps archive, 2 guaranteed autos, 2 awesome cards to collect.
I wish you guys would have told me. I
Right.
would have brought something from my PC.
So it's a 1.
So yeah,
because it's so old. Like it's a 1 is, it doesn't sound like an appealing
Right.
grade, but just to have it authentic is cool.
And for some guys today, that might as well be a 10.
right.
Yeah.
So-
Exactly. Lou's got a really cool card there. It's the Griffey rookie. I mean, this is Upper Deck's first card ever made, and yeah, it's one in everybody's collection.
So awesome. So
Should be.
let's get into the archives. Let's rip it open. Let's rip some packs. Let's see what autos we get. Maybe
Cool.
we get a case hit,
Yeah.
and we'll have some fun. All right.
Yeah. Get
All right,
2
cool.
autos in
Yeah.
there.
So we'll hand out some packs. Maybe we can, if any of the guys in the back want to jump in, maybe open up a couple packs with us.
Yep.
All you want to jump in?
I'm going to lay these down just so
Yeah,
they know.
yeah.
You know what? I'll put it.
So we can pass those
What?
around.
Yep.
Stan, I'm going to put this on the.
Get Mike a couple packs.
So we're looking for, we have 2
Can
guaranteed
you see the
autos.
mantle?
Once again, we want to thank
Griffey.
everybody for coming
no.
today. Yeah. So,
All right, so who are we looking for?
So this is this year, 2025 archives. The cool thing about archives, the checklist is huge.
Yeah.
So the autographs can be anywhere from the newest rookies to the best veterans that we know. Okay.
Here's Lou's favorite.
Oh, who's that?
Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso.
We'll talk about him in a
We'll
little
talk about it in a little bit. So,
Bring me back to
so one numbered,
Rippin' Lou.
green to 99, Ben Williamson. Very nice from Seattle. Whoever gets the auto, call it out. We're looking for 2 autos.
Francisco Alvarez.
What I like about archives too, they insert a lot of different variations from previous years. All the designs in the product will have different years, spanning back, I think, to the original, right? 52, right?
Yep.
They go all the way back. So yeah, it's a cool set. More of a beginner set, something that is cost efficient and that everybody can rip.
Here's Vientos for you.
There you go, Mark Vientos. He's on fire. There we
Wow,
go.
there you
Wow.
go, and Ben
The
Rice.
Yankee
Rook-
fan.
Nice.
Ben Rice, rookie auto.
It would be
very
a
nice.
nice podcast that pulls a Yankee.
There you
auto.
go. Little solo.
Beautiful.
Misner, Cedric Mullins to 149. Cedric Mullins, yeah, I know. David Stearns be like, I'm going to make a big trade. Jackson Job, rookie.
Still looking for one more. You guys are finished? So we got the nice Ben Rice for the Yankee fans. Another Pete Alonso. Oh, God. Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz back to back. That's a rough pack for Met fans. Nick Kurtz.
Oh, here's the auto.
Who
It's
is
a Met, just not a Met jersey.
All right.
Robin Ventura.
Wow.
All right.
Robin
there you
Ventura.
go. Lou
Yep.
Robin
I think,
Ventura.
Lou, so
That's
if
a
you guys
throwback.
follow us, when we did our all-time Mets team, I think you picked Robin Ventura to be your third baseman.
Yep. Look who's
Wow.
here.
There he is, the big guy.
The star of the show.
All right, so we just ripped the archives, and what Lou mentioned earlier was archives is pretty cool because you get all these different styles, the 80s type cards with the Escara, and then the newer style with the Job. You get these really cool inserts as well. You see the Juan Soto right here, the 201 home runs. So archives is a fun product because you're looking for all different things, and we pulled 2 good autos out of that box. The Ben Rice, yeah, that's the same as the Soto. The Ben Rice auto and Robin Ventura, 2 guys that are
2 New York
well-known in
guys.
New York.
Yeah. Very cool. So, and Vinny and I wanted to thank you so much for allowing this to happen tonight. The trade night's going to be awesome. We already have a couple of the guys here. We're looking forward to a fun night. You know what? Explain to everybody what kind of rip nights do we have here at the store?
So Rip Nights, we do, free giveaways, breaks, raffles, gifts. We have like pizzas, sodas for everybody.
So
And yeah, thank you so much for having me.
awesome. So, guys, that's this part of the Shealess podcast. We're going to switch it over to the Mets now. Me and Vinny are going to talk for a couple of minutes about the Mets. Remember, guys, please check out Jam Sportscards here on Staten Island, 7309 Amboy Road, the best in the hobby. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Nice.
That was dope.
Yes.
All right, guys, so we're going to switch over topics now. We're going to talk what we're here for, right? We're going to talk about the Mets. And the Mets are, they had the blueberries in the back. Look, these fans love their Mets. Mets had a great week last week, and then I don't know what happened when they came home this week. I don't know if it's the cold weather or just being back at Citi Field, but they struggled versus the Arizona Diamondbacks, and now they're really struggling versus the Oakland Athletics. Well, former Oakland Athletics. But Vin, give us a recap of the last week. What is the state of the Mets as of right now?
Not good. To sum it up, to the short version, but I don't see anything. I don't see any heart. And if you guys follow us on Instagram, what I just put out there was, I know you saw it. I put up a video of Josh Hart, and being in New York, the Knicks play so much different than the Mets team. There's just nothing there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the relationships in the clubhouse. We spoke about this in a previous episode. There just seems to be no fire, no heart, no energy. And I don't know if it stems from, I know we're going to talk about it in a little while. I don't know if it stems from Stearns, Mendoza, Cohen, the mixture of players, but something's not right now.
No, and you're absolutely right. Something's up with this team. Like you said, I don't know if it's the absence of Soto. I don't know if there's a disconnect between the front office and the players at this point. But like you said, they're not playing with any type of enthusiasm, any type of heart. No pun intended with Josh out there. But that brings me to the next question, Vin. We've been speaking a lot, and we posted it. I know you made the video earlier this week about Mendoza and about Stearns. Are these two guys, can we officially say that they're on the hot seat at this point?
I think there's no question about it. And I think more so lately as the season goes on now and going into last year, I think it's got to be Stearns. Stearns more than Mendoza. And we mentioned this, I'm done defending Mendoza, but Stearns put together what I put out, and I said it. I think it's a very flawed roster. He let some guys go. We all know, we're all very aware of it with Alonso. And I put it out that he didn't want to pay Alonso. He preached to us. We talked about this at nauseum. Run prevention. He's got a guy playing first who never played first. He's got a bad MLB shortstop playing third base. He's got a guy who can't play right field and Beatty playing right field. And now we've had Jared Young, Vientos, Beatty, and Polanco all play first base.
Yeah.
When you let a guy go who played 160 games there every year. So it just makes no sense. And Stearns, I think, eventually needs to realize, and fast, this is not Milwaukee. You can't get away with the nonsense you did in Milwaukee and do this in New York, because fans are going to get on you. And it could get, like, to quote the late Yogi Berra, it could get late very early in this town.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a great point. I agree with you, Vin. Unfortunately, usually with these things, the manager's the first one to go. And in the beginning, we both liked the Mendoza sign. He came from the Yankees. He had that bench coach experience, but what he's shown so far is, and we don't know what happens in the clubhouse, but what he's shown.
That's another thing I just want to say real quick,
go ahead.
because you just brought up the point. When is enough with signing these ex-Yankees to be our manager?
Yeah.
Can we get our guy at some point? Like, I'm sick of, because we live in New York, obviously. In 2006, what did we hear? A Yankee had to lead the Mets to this. A Yankee had to do this. Give Beltran the job.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later, because I'm sick of these Yankee cast-offs at this point.
I mean, it's one after another, going back to, like you said, in 2006 with Willie Randolph. I mean, I would love to have Beltran, lead this team. I know he was supposed to be the manager before he got caught up with that whole scandal in Houston. And like you said earlier, he was the one guy that's been the scapegoat. I mean, all these other guys had the opportunity to come back into the league, but Beltran was the guy that kind of got the blackball, and he wasn't able to get back into a managerial position. So yeah, I would love to see Beltran take the lead of this team. And I think that his connection with the players would be stronger and have more of an effect on what these guys can do on and off the field. So that's a great point. I think Beltran would be a great start. So moving on from that, the next big topic I want to talk about, Vin, and you and I talk about this all the time, Francisco Lindor. And as much as I, love the guy on the field, and, I consider him the captain of this team, every year, this guy gets off to a slow start. And every year he struggles out of the gate. And for the first time, as much as I love him, enough is enough with the slow starts, man. I mean, eventually you have to figure it out. Eventually you have to realize that when Juan Soto goes down the first month of the season, you have to step up. You call yourself the captain. Apparently you got into it with Brendan Nimmo last year because you guys were arguing on who is the official, unofficial captain of the team.
It happened with McNeil also.
It happened with McNeil. It's time for him to step up. Just today, they tried to make a little bit of a comeback. The bullpen give up more runs. But, at this point, there's a lack of leadership. And it starts with Lindor. He wants to wear that captain's patch. He wants it. He has to wear these, the boos from the fans. So, Vin, just your thoughts on, another slow start from Lindor, and what does he have to do to turn this around?
Well, I mean, we expect from what we've seen throughout his career that he's going to turn it around at some point. But if the disconnect seems to happen, over and over and over again, unfortunately, I think it may be coming to the end.
So, Vin, to pick up, what does Lindor have to do to turn it around at this point in the season?
I think, we've become accustomed to seeing him do this, get off the slow starts. But I feel like at some point, and it's unfortunate to say because he has been so great for us since he's been here. He's really connected with the fans, and it may be that his time as a Met is coming to an end. And we've seen it. We've seen it with guys. Unfortunately, we watched guys like Piazza walk out the door, and listen, Soto's here for another 14 years.
Yeah.
And if the Soto and Lindor thing is really something, and unfortunately Lindor is going to have to go. And I think we spoke about it. A hypothetical might be trading Lindor to San Diego for a Tatis, and you put Bo Bichette as shortstop in the interim, and then But it doesn't seem to be connecting itself. We were watching the game earlier today, and when they was making their comeback, and Lindor grounds out during the comeback, he goes to the end of the bench and doesn't talk to anybody. If you're that upset here, request a trade.
Yeah, I mean, and the opportunity's there. Like you said, he's still one of the best shortstops. He's still one of the best shortstops in the league. He has the ability to play both offense and defense.
But it's the mental stuff now too.
Yes, and that's my biggest problem. Like you said, to be such a great player and not make those adjustments into each season and starting off again, just really struggling out of the gate here. Something has to give. So Vin, that's the negative over the last couple of days. But
There's been a lot of it.
through the losses, we did go on a 5-game win streak last week,
Yeah,
4-game win streak.
we gave it right back.
We gave it right back. But with that, there's been two bright spots that you want to talk about before we wrap things up here. We're going to ask a couple of people in the crowd if they have any questions. Let's talk about, the back end of that bullpen in Devin Williams. Since coming here from the Yankees, we didn't know what he was going to be. We didn't know what type of bounce back season he was going to have. So far this year, and I could be Lula Mush here again, but Devin Williams has looked pretty good. So thoughts on Devin Williams on the back end of that bullpen?
Listen, replacing Edwin Diaz, how could you? Who, by the way, at this point right now, while we're filming, Devin Williams has less blown saves than Edwin Diaz.
That's right.
Edwin Diaz blew a 7-4 game last night for the Dodgers. And Devin Williams, I mean, what could we say about him? He's been lights out, lets guys get on base, but he's like, he always seemed to be that bend, don't break type guy. And he hasn't broken yet. The only problem is we're not giving him any save opportunities.
Right,
so.
right. He hasn't been out there too much. But so, yeah, no, really good signs from Devin Williams so far this season. And then we have to do it, Vin. The big 8-8, because everybody talked about this guy. Everybody hated us for it. But we've been calling this guy's name for years. Man, Luis Robert has been the only bright spot in this lineup so far this year. He leads the league in OPS through the first 3 weeks of the season. He's been phenomenal. Yes, people are giving him, some crap because he couldn't get to a couple fly balls in the outfield. I'm not worried about his glove at all. But that bat speaks, to itself. So
completely different approach this year.
Completely different approach. And one thing that we said, me and you believe that the biggest thing that he needed was a change of scenery. And I think that change of scenery being in Queens was the best thing for Luis Robert at this point.
I mean, his talent has always been there, and we've said it. And me and Lou were going to ride this out.
Yeah.
Everybody gave us a ton of crap for wanting Lou Bob, how, overrated he was. And where would we be without him right now?
Yeah, I don't know. He's been phenomenal. And like I said, the one bright spot in the lineup, at this point, I don't think he can afford to be out of the lineup. So I know they want to kind of load manage him to give him his rest off the field. But he has to be in the lineup every day. Even if he's DHing, they need that line. They need that bat in that lineup.
Absolutely. And he's proved since day one of this season why he's been an all-star, and he has the potential that he has, and why the White Sox at one point thought that that's a guy you could build around.
Yeah.
And then once he looked like he was disinterested, that was it.
That was it.
Certain guys, I know we say it as fans, it's how do you not get motivated to play? But it's a different level. And he didn't seem to be motivated in Chicago anymore. And it was one of the worst teams in history. But now we seem to be getting the good version of Lou Bob. And I love every second of it because we've always loved them.
And we take that every day. So at this point, guys, we're going to open up the podcast. We're going to ask a couple guys. Some guys have questions for us. We'll answer a couple Mets questions, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, guys. So at this point, we're going to ask a couple people in the crowd their questions, their thoughts, their concerns about the Mets up to this point in the season. Me and Vin are going to try our best to answer them the best way we can, and then we'll go from there. So up first, we have
Mikey.
Mikey, what's your question, bud?
So question for both of you guys, a little bit off the Mets. Going into the season, October baseball, some big-time games. How do you guys feel about the ABS system, and what do you think could be the outcome of big games during that time?
So that's a great question. So really new to us, I'm a traditionalist. I like the old school mentality of having the umpires, run the game. I'm not a fan of the ABS system. Yes. Does it speed up the game? Sure. Does it make it a little bit more fair? Sure. But you're really putting the spotlight now on these umpires. And yes, there's pros and cons because some of these umpires are really bad. But when you're overturning pitches that are, millimeters off the plate, I just think that's a negative on the game. But I'm not a fan of it. Vin, what do you think?
Flat out, I hate it. I think it's terrible. Like Lou said, the baseball it's not the game that we grew up with anymore. And I think they're starting to try to appeal to an audience that if you have to try that hard, chances are they're not baseball lovers to begin with.
Right.
And the ABS and all these other rules, since you brought up the ABS, the ghost runner, the reliever rule, I think they're just destroying the game that a lot of people fell in love with. And that's the short answer of it. And Mikey's got one more.
So we got rid of some of our big time guys, Pete Alonso, Edwin Diaz, Nimmo, some homegrown guys. How do you guys feel about this going into 2026 with a completely different team? We're struggling early. Do you think you're excited to see this team turn it around, or what are your thoughts about how we're going to end this season?
There was some guys I was okay with getting rid of. I was okay with getting rid of a Brandon Nimmo because of his age and his contract. I was okay with letting McNeil go. I think the big mistake, and we didn't really, when it came down to it, we didn't have a chance to re-sign Edwin Diaz. He just wasn't going to have it. Alonso, I think they really dropped the ball on that one, and we mentioned it on one of our shows that Pete Alonso was more than the numbers. He was really connected with the fans. He's the all-time home run leader for the Mets. There's some guys that I believe are bigger than the analytics side of it. I don't care about his, the nonsense with all these in-depth things, but Alonso should have stayed.
Yeah, and Mike, to answer the second part of your question, it's a long season. I mean, there's a reason why there's 162 games on the calendar. Yes, the Mets have been off to a slow start the last couple of years, but we look back at 2024 and we saw how they were able to turn that season around. Much different buildup of the team, but I think that it's still very early. I think once they get going and these guys really start hitting the ball, they have a chance to turn it around. The pitching looks promising outside of David Peterson. But overall, I think they can turn it around.
And one bad start, I'm not going to.
Oh, we have another question. Go ahead.
So this is not really a question. This is an assignment.
Sure.
I'm putting you both under the spotlight. You're now GMs.
Okay.
You get 2 moves each to make right now to improve the team. What are you doing?
That's a great question. You want to go first, Vin? Because I know you have your answer already.
The first one I do is trade Lindor. I'm trading Lindor and prospects to San Diego for Tatis. I'm putting that outfield together. And can we trade for Alonso? Can we get Alonso back? I mean, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go for the big guns, and I'm gonna break up the farm system, and I'm gonna try to get Skubal. I'm gonna try to get Skubal and Tatis, and I put Bichette at short, and I put Beatty at third, and I go from there.
So in terms of the pitching, I would go down to Miami. I really like Sandy Alcantara. I think that won't cost as much in terms of prospects we would have to give up. I think that Sandy has proven since coming back from Tommy John that he's been great. He's throwing hard again. And I think that would be a little bit of a less hit to our minor league system than going out for Skubal, although Skubal would be amazing. And the second guy I would go after, I really don't know, who's, the contracts at this point in the season, but just to get another bat, an everyday DH, I'm over the Mark Vientos experiment, and I know he's been hot up to this point in the season, but it's been 3 weeks. We know what this guy is. We know what he's going to be at the end of the year. I want a real DH who's going to, that Mendoza can pencil him in every day and have the opportunity to go out there and drive and run. So I would, maybe a guy like Yordan Alvarez, but definitely my number one target right now would be Sandy Alcantara.
Good answer.
Cool.
The only thing that scares me about that is the tax in the division.
I did have one follow-up to that, guys.
Yeah, go.
So you guys mentioned it a little bit earlier about Lou Bob playing well right now. And Mendy, I know you guys have been critical of Mendy. Today he moved him up to the second hole, and he moved Bo down to the cleanup spot. What's your opinion on what he's doing there with the lineup?
You got to be flexible. I mean, I think that moving the lineup isn't the part that bothers me. I think the part that bothers me the most is the inconsistency of who's in the lineup. I know it's early in the season and he has variables. He wants to, get different guys at bats and see what the best lineup is. But a guy like Luis Robert, a guy like Bo Bichette, those guys have to be in there every day, no matter what. You have the revolving door at first base between the 3 guys that Vinny mentioned before. But I don't mind it that they flip-flop 2 and 4. I just think that those guys have to be in the lineup.
Yeah, I think at this point they've struggled so much offensively that they had to try to do something. I mean, what was it, 17 straight innings without a run? They had to try to shake something up. And Lou Bob and Bichette, without Soto there, to hit second. He had to try to do something. So I guess at this point, it is what it is. They scored 6 runs today and gave up 11.
Now, but once again, guys, we're going to end it here. It's been around the 45-minute mark. Vinny and I just wanted to thank Anthony and Marissa again for having us tonight here at Jam Sports Cards. We have a great Topps Hobby Rip Night here going on. We have a lot of people in the background. So we want to thank you guys again. Remember, make sure you check out Jam Sports Cards, 73 Boy Road. And we'll see you guys next time from the Shealess podcast.
And the one Orioles fan.
And let's just shout out to Stopa. He gets to enjoy Pete Alonso for the next couple of years.